All right. Hello, everyone who is on the Spring Equinox bonus VIP bundle. This is the first time in my entire career that I have ever offered something like this. The reason why I wanted to offer it, and thank you so much for all of you who've taken advantage of it. There's almost 80 of you that took advantage of it, because this is such a significant time that we're in, that I really wanted to provide an opportunity for all of you to be able to really take advantage of this really incredible time that we're in here in this month of March. Doesn't mean this incredible time is going to stop, but at the end of this talk, you're going to know exactly why this time is so significant. So wherever you are right now in your life, however you're feeling, you may just want to jot down some notes about how you're feeling. Yvonne asked me yesterday, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I feel physically pretty good, emotionally very stable, but mentally I feel kind of disoriented and kind of disjointed. So for some of you, you might feel mentally clear, but physically kind of off. So just kind of write down your notes about how you are doing right now, how you are feeling, because I'm going to have you check in again at the end of the hour and a half. Now, some of you have been my students since before the year 2000, since like 1998. That's a long time that we've been together. And for those of you who've stuck with me and in my own growth process, you've watched me really evolve, really grow. And I imagine if I was a part of your life, I've really watched you evolve and watch you grow. And we're not done yet. We are just getting started. As a matter of fact, when I often think about this moment in time that we're in, I feel like this is the moment I personally have been waiting for this entire lifetime. As a matter of fact, this moment might be the most exciting time that I've been waiting for over several lifetimes, gearing towards this time. So I'm super excited. You can't see it, but I'm doing the happy dance inside. And I know that by the time we get to the end of this talk, you're going to be doing the happy dance as well. Many of you don't know me. I have been teaching intuitive psychic development since the mid 90s. I am a registered nurse. I worked intensive care. I worked in hospice. I had a spontaneous out-of-body experience. I didn't have a near-death experience. I had a spontaneous psychic awakening because I had a lot of stress. And I kind of put out to the universe. I put out to the universe, I can't handle one more thing. Something's got to give. And wow, did it give. And then suddenly I became sighted. So what I mean by that is 1 minute, I'm just a muggle. It's like I'm that individual who sees all the struggles in life, all the stressors in life. I'm trying to mentally figure it out. I'm trying to call all my friends to help me mentally figure it out. But then when I became suddenly sighted, I could see the energy world. And so I really wondered, why did this happen to me? What is this? I want to understand this. One thing that you're going to know about me is I am intensely curious. I always want to know what, why, when, where, how. And I really think that that's what keeps me not just motivated, but keeps my mind engaged rather than engaging with the stressors in the world. It's like, okay, how can I be curious about this? How can I assist this to evolve? This is going to be really coming through in this talk today. So in your VIP bundle that we created, that you get the 10 mini readings, you would get this bonus teaching talk today on Saturday, plus you get the Spring Equinox group reading tomorrow. And I know many of you on the call today have never experienced a group reading. You are really in for a treat. So because Spirit told me that I needed to go out, Nancy, I need you to go out into the world. I call it, my God drop. I need you to go out in the world and help people remember that they are spiritual. They are human beings having a spirit. spiritual beings having a human experience. So you can imagine just how popular that message was in the mid-90s. People looked at me like I have 3 heads. And now that pure statement has been used so many times in this 25 plus years. It's just like, you take another sip of coffee, it doesn't even trigger you, because it's like, of course I'm a spiritual being. But did you know there's still a lot of people in the world that don't know that? I happen to work with a lot of homeless youth, teaching meditation, and you should see their lives turn around once they realize again that they are of the light, just like everybody else. Okay, so when I say I can literally see the spiritual world, I can see several dimensions at the same time. I can see several dimensional levels of different spiritual beings at the same time. When I'm talking to you, if we stop on the street, we're walking our dogs, I'm going to see you, I'm going to see your aura, I'm going to see your chakras, I'm going to see your spirit guides, I'm going to see your grandmas and your grandpas, I'm going to see the whole package deal. Am I special? No, I think I was just thrown into the deep end of the swimming pool to start swimming and showing everybody that it can be done. But what I know is there's many of you who are awakening to those same levels in your own unique way. So when I had my out-of-body experience, I was very humanly broken, or I felt humanly broken, but I became spiritually awakened. And that's what's happening right here and now. You may feel like you're physically, emotionally, and mentally broken, but just to let you know, you are very spiritually whole. And as soon as you can allow more of your spirit, I call it in the front seat of your car, the more those emotional, physical, and mental pieces will start to become less fragmented and more in unison, flowing together. So we are all struggling to cope on a good day. We're all struggling. And this week, it's been a doozy. And it's not like, we're crying and we're pulling our hair out, but it's almost like when I'm looking, it's like we're all kind of walking in circles. It's just like, which way do I go? Will someone just point me in the right direction? So hopefully in this next hour and a half, you'll get pointed in the right direction. We have crumbling political, financial, technological, medical systems, and our mental stress is stretching us beyond our ability to cope. And you might be wondering if there is a light at the end of this tunnel. What I've learned over the past 25 years is that your human nature, now this, I really want you to hear this. Your human nature is much stronger than you realize. Your human nature. You're not a wimp. You don't get to live here on the earth if you're a wimp. Let me just say that loud and clear. You don't even get to be assigned a gorgeous, awesome, beautiful body if you're a wimp. Only the strongest get to come to earth. So just know, if you're here on earth, that's because you're already very spiritually strong, very spiritually resilient. I write here, when pushed up against the wall, you all will say, hell no, I'm not going to go down that easily. And that, I like to use that example of like what's happening in Ukraine right now, which is horrible at this 3D level. But when you hear them, they're just like, we're not going down. We are not going down. And any of us put in that same position would be saying the same thing. So you do have what it takes. When you've been diagnosed with cancer, which I was in 2020, right in the midst of COVID, I was a nurse, so I already knew a little bit about cancer, but it's very different when it hits close to home and it's very personal. But what I know to be true about that is when I was given the education around it and how to move through the surgeries and the chemotherapies and the radiations, once I was armed with that knowledge, it didn't feel as overwhelming. It didn't feel as frightening. It was less unsettling. Now, when I was going through chemotherapy, the number one instructions were, you're going to feel like a bomb of poison just went off inside of you. Instruction number one. Instruction number two, you're going to feel like you want to stay in bed, curled up in a ball. Instruction number one, get up, put your feet on the floor, and walk outside. Instruction number two, you're not going to feel like doing anything. Maintain your daily routine as much as possible. Maintain your daily workload as much as possible. And so, and drink tons of water and eat really well, small snacks every 2 hours. All right, now I'm going to move Cancer aside and let's put in its place this spiritual happening that's happening right now. You might feel like a bomb just went off inside of you and everything in your life has been turned upside down. You might feel like staying in bed and crying and staying curled up in a ball and not getting out. And you need to get up, put your feet on the floor and walk out the door. You might not feel like going to work. Try to maintain some semblance of normalcy in your life. Drink lots of water, eat healthy, sleep well, and of course, my favorite, meditate. So what I'm saying is you're armed with all the right things to do, because when I start talking to you about just how significant this time is that we are in right now, it's like, whoa, okay, I need to keep my head on straight and I need to make sure that I get out of bed, I go on those walks, whatever that is energetically for you. So yes, there is a light at the end of that tunnel, and that light is you. Every single one of you, not just those of you on this call. This is the part that I just want to scream from the rooftops. Every single person on the face of the planet is going through this shift. Every person. Even if they're homeless, even if they're in prison because they've hurt and harmed people, even if they're corrupt, everybody is going through the shifts at the same time. So let's see. Every single moment you become brighter and brighter with literally doing nothing. You could sit on the couch and do nothing. You're still going to get brighter. So please do not think you need to know all the fancy footwork. Please do not think that you need to know all those extra dance steps. Please do not think that you need to take 10 more spiritual development classes, or, whatever. Please know that you've got everything that you need. It's like going on a camping trip. You're going to pack it. You've got everything inside of you that you need. I want to really enforce that for this time that we're living in. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. So adding expansive activities will help ease the binding, strangling, suffocating patterns of ascension symptoms. So that's what you want to be doing right now, is supporting yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Okay. What are the current frequency changes happening at this time? So for me, I don't consider myself an empath. I don't feel emotionally up and down like many of you who are more clairsentient do. However, I am sensitive to energies in that I can feel global energies. I can feel frequencies. I can hear sounds of frequencies. So I've always been able to do that. And I could tell when frequencies are building and when frequencies are letting loose, whether they're expansive frequencies or they're influencing us to be contracting. So that's kind of one of my superpowers that I didn't know that I had until just over time I awakened to those. Okay. Right now, the frequencies that are coming in, it's like a fine mist. If you've ever stood where the clouds are really low or you're in a fog, there's a fine mist. Sorry, I'm seeing, okay, people are coming in. Looks like some people are kind of getting booted out and coming back in. Okay. So information highway, write that down on your piece of paper. The frequency right now is a high level information highway. There are more light codes infusing our atmosphere like a fine mist. There's greater communication between nature, animals, and humans at a telepathic level. So where you are sitting right now, if you have people living in your home, you are having these high-level telepathic communication. If you're surrounded by plants, trees, and grass, high-level telepathic communication. Birds, squirrels, raccoons, deer, high-level telepathic communication. All this is happening at an unconscious level for most people, but you might be aware that there is a higher level frequency of telepathic activity. What is telepathy? It sounds really kind of otherworldly, Star Trek, Enterprise, Hogwarts school kind of thing. But it's a natural ability that we have, and we've always had it. But now it's coming to a conscious level. So it just means you might hear a thought in your head. You've picked up a thought that somebody has sent, or you send a thought from your own mind. So you'll be picking up on all kinds of telepathy. Like you might be walking down the street and all of a sudden you'll hear hello, and you'll look, you'll hear it in your head, and you're like, that squirrel is talking to me. Yeah, you can expect that to happen. That tree just asked me how my day was. Yep, you can expect that to happen. Now, I really, as a nurse, I want to keep this within the realm of normal behaviors for people who struggle with hearing voices, like a young homeless man that I worked with on Thursday. He said, I'm a little nervous about hearing things in my head because I'm schizophrenic and I'm afraid I might not be able to manage them. So just to know, heightened levels of telepathy. The last several years have grounded you more in your physical body. So just think where you were 7-8 years ago in your grounding, your knowledge of grounding, feeling a part of your body. It's been rough. I mean, the body's taken some hits. What I've noticed a lot is a lot of health hits. Like I had cancer. When I talked to my oncologist said, you know, Nancy, what shocks me the most is how many people in their 20s are getting cancer. How many people are in their 20s are almost surpassing everyone. So a lot of health issues are getting pushed to the surface to get addressed because it's clearing, it's on its way out. Illness, I said, is coming to the surface to be purged so that our bodies can become light bodies. The biggest pressure frequency that's coming in is the head, neck, shoulders. Head, neck, shoulders. This might be really exciting for some of you to hear, but the head, neck, shoulders of why you're feeling so much, it's because your communication chakra, where telepathy resides, your high level telepathic skill. The sixth chakra is your high level psychic, intuitive, clairvoyant skill. Your crown chakra is that illuminating light of your soul, able to see the bigger picture about what's going on skill, and all of it's about illuminating truth. Okay. The heart chakra is dumping deep, deep sadness, deep grief and sadness, like a sump pump in a basement. So, you know, like in the basement, if the basement floods, that little sensor goes off, that little sump pump starts pumping the water out so that the basement can stay dry. it's the same. Your heart chakra becomes very active. This is the thing Spirit wanted to make sure that you could hear, is that it's not just yours. This sadness is collective sadness. So when I use the term collective, it is part of the collective. I mean, it is part of every single person, every single living being on the earth is helping to rapidly transform this earthly sadness and grief through our own heart chakras. So it can feel very overwhelming. It is human nature to say, why am I feeling sad? Oh, I'm feeling sad. I must be feeling sad because I had a sad childhood. I must be feeling sad because, my kids are in turmoil. I must, like we want to label it somewhere. And so Spirit's very clear to say, this is a collective sadness. And just know that the more you can take care of yourself, the more you can help process that sadness into light, into consciousness, into awakened joy on the earth. Remember, you're not here because you were wimps. You're here because you have all that you need to do this. Okay. Let's talk about the significant astrological events. Again, know that I am not an astrologer. However, if you've been following me on my Facebook Live every week or YouTube or my blogs, you've heard me say during this great time of change, you will benefit greatly if you find an astrologer that you really like and start tuning into them every week, because that will help you keep your finger on the pulse. So what are the significant astrological events? Okay, write Pluto in big, bold letters on your paper. Pluto is the guest of honor at this awakening party right now, at this moment in time. Pluto right now in March, during the spring equinox on the 23rd, for quite a few months, it's going to be quite significant, and then it's going to become even more significant in 2024. So write Pluto. Okay, let me tell you a little bit. I'm looking at my time. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Pluto. Pluto's all about destruction. Pluto is here to destroy anything that is not healthy. Pluto is here to destroy anything in your life, anything in the city you live in life, anything in our state, in our country, in our provinces, and other countries in the world is here to destroy anything that's unhealthy. It's about regeneration, new growth, and healthier ways. It's about dying to the old and being reborn in a new way. No one is escaping this. It's about power. It's about control. And this one really rattled my cage in a good way. Pluto is here to help you go through deep psychological transformation that is going to result in huge rewards for you. Okay, deep psychological transformation that is going to result in big rewards. But psychologically, when you're feeling like you're about ready to lose your nuts, it's like my marbles are going to start falling out all over the place. Want to stay focused on the fact that there's going to be a big reward at the end. I'm going to go ahead and pause, mute everyone again. Okay. A deep metamorphosis. So does anybody, let's say, metamorphosis when the caterpillar and the cocoon liquefies. And then that liquid rearranges itself into this butterfly, and then it moves out of the cocoon, and then its wings have to dry, and then it takes flight. You are in a metamorphosis to help you come through the crisis that we've been in. So, it's not your imagination that things are happening. There's some real reasons here. All right, so Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn for 20 years. We have become very familiar with Capricorn and Pluto in the same bed. Capricorn's all about structure. It's all about structure. And so it's like your favorite pair of shoes that you've worn for 20 years. The leather's really broken in nicely. The stitching has expanded. It's, those laces are kind of worn, but every time you put them in, your feet in them, it's like it feels like coming home. It feels like, oh, I could walk, I could run a marathon in these shoes. They are just like hand to glove. They fit so nicely. But moving from Pluto and Capricorn, which you're really familiar with, is like needing to get a new pair of shoes. They can feel tight. It's painful to try to break them in. You don't even know if you like them very much. You keep looking at those old shoes that you want to put back on your feet, but these new shoes have a wider base. They help your alignment, your posture, your structure more. Everything in your life is the same, but you are not the same wearing those new pair of shoes. And I love that example because it can be that subtle, like just putting on a new pair of shoes. Saturn is also influencing us, but not in the same way that Pluto is. So Saturn is the planet of restrictions and restructuring. So kind of pulling in, moving the pieces around, and then kind of restructuring. But Pluto's influence with Saturn in the mix intensifies whatever it is anybody's doing. Anything you're doing, it intensifies it all. And right now it's intensifying Saturn. Okay. One astrologer, write this on your piece of paper. Right now, Pluto in your life is like an atomic bomb. These are not little things. These are not little shifts that you are going to be experiencing in your life. Some of you have already experienced them, and so you might have little influences, and some people in your life might have big changes that are happening. So that atomic bomb just clears the playing field, levels the playing field. Pluto shines an intense LED type light onto anything that you're clinging to, hanging on to, have a death grip on, or avoiding. Pluto's going to be like, wow, you got a death grip on that. Let's, boom. Wow, you're avoiding dealing with this situation. Boom. And what the boom is healing light. It's healing light, because what Pluto wants to do is to let go of those crumbling buildings so that you can rebuild a new structure in its place. This light of Pluto moves through like a magnifying glass. So Pluto's really big right now. Like you're sitting here and there's this Pluto out in the universe shining a light on the whole world. Like a magnifying glass that intensifies the heated focus of laser light. If we've heard of that, where you focus that light with the magnifying glass on that piece of paper, and slowly there starts to be a pinhole of heat, and it starts to smoke, and then poof, it goes into a flame. This is exactly destroying the paper, those unhealthy places, to be built into a new frequency and a new flow. So this morning, so I'd written my notes and then I typed up my notes. But so I was thinking of Sadie, my little puppy. So Sadie came in like little Pluto today. So Sadie, my new little puppy, is just 4 months old. So I think I got her when she was 8 weeks old. And what is she, like 16 weeks old now? So she comes, I had just taken her outside this morning and she comes running in and my papers are on the floor next to me. I'm meditating. She comes right in. I don't even know if you can see this. Can you see my notes? It's like she knew everything she wasn't supposed to touch. She touched and within a nanosecond had shredded my papers. Then I heard my spirit say, that's Pluto. That it's like, oh, and the next thing you know, she runs and she gets some incense and now incense is flying everywhere. And now I'm running to grab the incense out of her mouth and she runs and gets something else. All of the things I don't want her to touch, she's touching. That's Pluto. The aspects in my life that I want her to touch, like the soft, squishy toy or the raw hide or the ball or the little puppy game. Oh no, she's not touching those. She's touching everything we didn't want her to touch. So spirit reminds me, we all have ideas of where we think our life needs to heal. But Pluto knows where your life needs to heal. So, okay. So what did I say here? Pluto is the star moving you towards new, bold directions. Pluto's not here to destroy you. I want you to write yourself a little love note right now. Pluto is not here to destroy you. Pluto is here to destroy things that don't support you. Pluto's here to destroy things that interfere with your ability to be the maximum light and individual that you can be. And I'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. Pluto's capacity to upend your life in all of those unhealthy spots is a force that is unstoppable. Okay, take a deep breath. Get something to drink. I have water here, but just have a little bit more about Pluto, because Pluto's got some good things about it as well. So resistance to changing, digging in your heels, mentally trying to understand why things are changing only cause more challenges. Like a landslide that has separated from the mountain, everything in its path is either destroyed or moved off in different directions. The best way to work with Pluto energy is to ride the wave. Remember, I said knowledge is power. With this knowledge, you'll be less unsettled and less frightened. So do not blame, shame, fight, or control the changes. Speak to those around you who have a chance to understand. And for those who cannot understand what's happening right now, and they might be blaming, shaming, controlling towards you, just remember they too are in a transformation. They just may not be able to handle it in a more awakened, conscious way. Pluto represents control and manipulation. So if you're trying to control or manipulate someone or something else, the intensity of Pluto is simply going to just shine a light on those things so that those patterns can be healed. And we all have levels of control, and we all have levels of manipulation because we are in a human body attempting to survive some pretty tough hardships in life, you know, that we've learned to cope. All right. So now, astrologically, Pluto is moving out of Capricorn, and Pluto is moving into the sign of Aquarius on March 23rd. Today is March 18th. Tomorrow is March 19th, where you're going to have another opportunity to shift a lot of energy. We're going to do a meditation today. You're going to shift more tomorrow. On the 20th is the actual spring equinox. And on the 23rd is when Pluto steps out of Capricorn's house and moves into Aquarius's house. So let me talk a little bit about what's going to happen here. So this is the good news. Write on your piece of paper one thing that you've struggled with for 20 years. For 20 years. One thing that you've struggled with. Now, for me, I can tell you that one thing was insecurity. And you would never know that because I override my insecurity on a regular, sometimes very exhausting basis to show up in a more confident way. So that was a 20-year struggle for me. So write down just, maybe you've got one or two, but something you've been struggling with for 20 years that you wanted to change. As Pluto moves out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, it closes the Capricorn door, it opens the Aquarian door. What was a struggle while it was in Capricorn dissipates, disappears, like suddenly it's not even an issue anymore. It gets left behind with the old Capricorn structure. So it's like, get up, do the happy dance. This is an exciting thing, a very, very exciting thing. Remember, Capricorn is all about institutional structure, and those structures will start to collapse. So the shift from Capricorn into Aquarius is like this deep breath of relief, a big shift into expansive freedom. Tight, rigid structures, expansive freedom. Now, for those of you who, I look at Capricorn, now you have to understand, my sun sign is Aquarius. I have 5 different planets in Capricorn. So I have a love affair with Capricorn because I'm going to say Aquarius is like the free flying, flowers in the hair, hippie chick, everything is love. And Capricorn's like, well, that's great, but who's going to pay the light bill? That's Capricorn. So Capricorn provides the structure has provided the structure and still can, for those more expansive energies. But the old structure, we've outgrown it. It's like a pair of pants that you can't fit into anymore. We've outgrown that structure. So remember again, Pluto is about destruction and regeneration, death and rebirth, deep psychological transformation, leading you to big rewards. Pluto challenges you to become the designer of your own destiny. All right, I'm going to talk about Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. So we're already in the doorway. We're standing in the door jam of Capricorn and Aquarius. So Pluto and Aquarius. What is happening now is a massive, starting on the 23rd, we are entering into the cycle of a massive global change. A massive global change. We are on the cusp for the next 20 years of the greatest shift of our lifetime. That's something to be excited about. Aquarius is a mental sign. that will awaken the brilliance of your own mind. As the information highway of new light codes come in, the new Aquarian mind will be able to understand and see these concepts that previously you couldn't wrap your mind around. Can you imagine suddenly being able to understand concepts that seemed so complex to you before? According to the astrology, you can expect to experience that. Pluto shining a light through the sign of Aquarius shines a light on building our future together. Technology, science, medical breakthroughs, quantum frequency shifts, intuitive psychic abilities are opening and going to continue to open for every single person on the earth. Aquarius is group focused on a mass scale. With Pluto, you are directed to no longer just think of yourself. You won't be able to help yourself wonder about how everyone else in the world is doing. Your view of life from that perspective will have an impact on the larger community. This is the fun part about Aquarius. Aquarian nature is very eccentric and unique. So write on your piece of paper, where are you really eccentric in life that you don't share with anyone else? What are aspects of your eccentric personality that you do not share with anyone else? I remember once meeting this friend and has a very serious job. And what I did not know about them is that they were an excellent stand-up comedian. That was an eccentric side of themselves that they didn't allow to enter into the rest. So here's Aquarian. Aquarians, in fact, is the most eccentric of all astrological signs. With Pluto, it's going to shine a light on your uniqueness. So anywhere where you had structure hiding your eccentricities, hiding your uniquenesses, all of those are going to crumble. You will not be able to hide your uniqueness anymore. But this is the part that's even better. You're not going to have to, because when Pluto is in Aquarius, your uniqueness is going to be celebrated. You're not going to be expected to know the 1,000 books of policies, procedures, rules. What is it? The RCW codes, of law. It's like your uniqueness and always is going to be celebrated. Can you spell freedom? Write freedom in big capital words on your paper. Aquarius is innovative. Aquarians are known to be extremely innovative, thinking of new things to help set us up for 50 years ahead of where we are now. With Pluto and Aquarius, that means all of you and the world is going to all of a sudden be more innovative, have great ideas, want to put things together. So things that you would have thought, oh God, if I shared this idea with anybody, they'd think I was crazy. Not with Aquarius and Pluto together. Your innovative ideas are going to be celebrated. Lighting and fueling the momentum to help solve world problems. All right, this is the other big thing that the Aquarian nature is known for. Aquarians are humanitarians at their heart. At the core of their heart, Aquarians are humanitarians. They're always, always thinking of the world in a humanitarian way. And that's why, as an Aquarian, I created a nonprofit called Soul Seeds, and our mission is healing with humanity. So Aquarians by nature can't help themselves. They have that humanitarian nature. So what does it mean for you when you're living with Pluto and Aquarian influences in your own signs? It means that you will be on a humanitarian mission. There will be a grassroots levels of change to the world, power to the people. So right, power to the people, because you are the people who have felt disempowered for a long time in Capricorn. Just follow the rules and everything will be fine. That's Capricorn. Just follow the rules and everything will be fine. And rules are good, right? Rules are good until they're corrupt rules. Okay. Capricorn structures are crumbling. Okay, strategies for the future. Strategies for the future. And then we're going to have a little 5-minute break to stand up and stretch. And then we're going to have a meditation to move out all those bits of energy that we just stirred up. Strategies. Let go and let God. So if you want to distill that down, trust that you are right where you're supposed to be and that everything is unfolding as it should. Strategy number 2, do not make major life decisions right now. Do not make sudden life-altering decisions at this time. Remember, everyone and everything is changing. Everyone and everything is changing. You might benefit from allowing a few extra months to help the dust settle before you make that change. I cannot tell you how many people are going through relationship stuff right now. Because both of you in that relationship, or let's say you've got a family relationship or your parents' relationship, all these relationships, maybe it's all the relationships at church, maybe it's all the relationships at work. Everyone is shifting out of Capricorn into Aquarius. So don't hang your hat on their problems. Just know they're working, they're dancing as fast as they can. And some people don't have the tools. So remember that some people don't have the tools, and you may not feel like you have the tools, but Spirit wants you to know everybody has what it takes. So anyway, but if you have to make changes, definitely listen to your spirit, pray about it, meditate on it. But I'm just saying, Pluto, the atomic bomb of change. All right, let the dust settle. Number 3, strategy number 3, write this on your paper. I am a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. That's very Aquarian. I am part of the solution, not the problem. Strategy for the future, allow those parts of you that wish to be free to expand. Oh, I feel like I have to take a breath. I'm starting to feel free. I'm feeling freedom inside. Oh my gosh. I've literally said that several times over the last few weeks. I'm feeling expansiveness. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I feel free. Doesn't mean that the door doesn't slam in my face the next minute, but I have those moments. Strategy, next strategy. Time for your own unique eccentric aspects peek through the surface of change. Write on your piece of paper, I am willing to be real. I am now willing to be my real, authentic self. Next strategy, psychic, intuitive, spiritual development. The world is waking up spiritually and intuitively. This isn't a choice point. I just want to let you know. It's like, oh, maybe I'll develop my intuition. Oh no, your intuition's there. It's waking up. So it's like, just know that it's there and build it into the strategy of your expansiveness. And I'll just say over the next 20 years for Aquarius and Pluto, because Aquarius and Pluto are going to be together in the same bed until 2044. 2044. So you don't have to get used to this in the next few months. You've got 20 years to get used to this feeling. The old structure of control and manipulation will not survive. So you might as well get on board quickly. Tsunamis of change. I had a dream, and it was a kind of a distressing dream. And in the dream, I'm standing on the beach with a lot of people, and I look off in the distance and I can see a huge wall of water, tsunami, a wall of water coming towards the shore. And so I go to run up the hill and I'm yelling down at the people on the beach, get out of the way, a tsunami's coming, get out of the way, a tsunami's coming. And they were just standing there like paralyzed or frozen. So then I ran back down and I'm shaking them, wake up, please get up the top of the hill. The tsunami, and it turned out to be a tsunami of change is coming. And so I struggled until finally, I think I woke up before the wall of water hit, but I meditated on it. And what Spirit told me was, Nancy, it was your job to go to the top of the hill. And then those on the beach look up and see you up there. And it's like, oh, that's the path that I need to go. If you stay at the bottom, you risk getting buried under the tsunami of change as well. So you're the next leader. This is what's happening here in March. You're moving into a spiritual leadership. You're showing people how to model healthy, spiritual, energetic behavior. The spiritual world is revealing itself to you at the 3D level. Everyone has spiritual guides. Your spiritual guides are going to begin to let you know much more actively that they are there and they're assisting you. They're going to be able to give you, they're going to start giving you signs, especially over the next 3 years. They're going to be very active at giving you signs that they are around you. Star beings from other galaxies, are also over the next 3 to 5 years are going to begin to reveal themselves much more. The reason why they haven't been able to reveal themselves before now is because you did not have the expanded consciousness to be able to understand the different levels of beings. And they're saying over the next 3 to 5 years, your consciousness is going to allow you to see them, to feel them, to communicate with them, to know them, and be in community with them. I love it when someone says, and I have to tell you, I'm not, I didn't used to be a big alien UFO person. And I would say, out of 100% UFO alien person, I'm still probably in the category of about 30%. But someone the other day was saying, I don't believe in aliens. And I saw an alien standing right next to them. It was like, okay. And so it's just interesting. This is the world that we're living in. I don't know if I believe in angels. I don't really know if there's a spirit world. As you can just see, hundreds of spirit guides all around you. So just to know, your higher states of consciousness are going to be able to understand this all a bit more. All right. So what's one word? What were you kind of sensing and feeling before this talk started at 10? What's one word to describe your concepts around this information? Just one word, put it in the comment section. excited, happy, hopeful, excited, prepared, encouraged, affirmed, affirmation, transforming, exciting, optimistic, hopeful, freedom, yay. All of those things, excited, familiar, energized. These are such exciting times, confirmation, hopeful, relief, excited. It is very exciting times, aware. And everyone, whether they're conscious or not, are aware on some level. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We're going to come back at 11:05. We're just going to take a quick water, bathroom break, and then we're going to come back and do just a little 15-minute meditation. And we're going to meditate with the energy of Pluto. We're going to ask Pluto to help clear some of our own, gently clear some of our own energetic blocks ahead of time, ahead of the March 20th, ahead of the March 23rd event, to help us be able to ease into it much easier. So let's come back at 11:05. When you see me pop back on, you'll know that we're ready to get started with the meditation, okay? So I know a few of you are going to be getting settled in, and it's that I was just kind of passing Yvonne, and she was talking about how her name is like that fear of the unknown. Does this mean that your life is going to have a big shift? No. Some of you have already felt those big movements. So if you've already had some big things shift in your life, can you go ahead and put a little comment in the comment box that you've had your shift? Some of you might be ready to have your shift, and some of you have been shifting all along. Does that make sense? So for me personally, I've had about 3 big, bombs of shifts happen for me about 4 times in the last 20 years. Gigantic. Breast cancer would be one of them. And so how many of you have been going through right now, in the last month or two, some big shifts out of old structure? Melanie's saying multiple shifts. Jennifer's saying been shifting these past 5 to 8 years. Another Jennifer saying, yeah, I've had some pretty huge bombs dropped into my life. Kim saying, yeah, I've already had 2 big shifts already. And you're surviving them. It might not feel on some level like you're surviving them, but you are, and you're becoming stronger from them. I love Nancy Moffat says, how can I recognize my eccentricities when they seem normal to me? Well, it's like other people may think that's cool. Your eccentricities are cool, where they may have thought you were a little odd before. Who knows? Who knows? We are entering, I'm right there with you, entering into this new, we're creating this new world. As an Aquarian, we're creating 50 years ahead of time. You are the architect of your life. Pluto wants you to design the life that you want to have. So right now, just take a moment to write down, what kind of life do you want to have? It's the moment this call goes off today, a moment. And the next moment, what direction do you want to be creating your life? Yeah, Leanne, I'm right there with you. It's like, I feel like I'm doing okay, but my friends' lives are bananas. Yeah, that might be the experience you're having. And remember, I said, in that leadership, you're going to say, we're going through a lot of shifts, or you might want to, let me tell you about what's happening right now. Yes, greater senses of joy and presence. I am experiencing that as well. Catherine Eltrich saying huge shifts, too many in the last 7 years, 3 years, last 6 months have been unraveling. Huge shifts. So you're normal. You're having normal things. And just to know that the whole world is going through it as well will hopefully allow you to offer up a little comfort to others, a little comfort to yourself, a little forgiveness to others, forgiveness to yourself, a little compassion for others, compassion for the self. All right, let's do a little meditation. And just to kind of help get grounded and help start to shift the pot that just got stirred. I like, that's the way I work. I like to, let's get things, let's push it to the surface. Let's get those triggers pushed to the surface. Now let's rinse them down our grounding. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can put your paper and your pen down and get comfortable. You can shut off your video if you feel like that will help you get a little more comfortable. Ask your body how it's feeling. It's like, body, honey, sweetheart, I know you're feeling a lot of things cracking inside of you. I know things are starting to crumble, but I promise you, you're going to talk to them from your spirit. Promise you, body, I've got you. I've got your back. Say hello to your spirit, your higher wise self, your higher wise self that's excited about this new level of being eccentric, thinking about humanity, expanding into states of feeling free within your life and joy. And we're going to go ahead and ground together as a group. So ask your spirit. Some of you already know how to do this, how I teach this, but for those of you who this is brand new, you can imagine and pretend that you are an ancient tree with deep roots. You can pretend that your grounding is a beautiful cascading waterfall. Rainbows, a steel beam, a barrel of monkeys, whatever your playful imagination wants to come up with, and then imagine that sense of grounding connecting to the lower part of your aura, which is like around the navel area, and then go ahead and let your grounding, let gravity pull your grounding below the chair that you're in or the floor. Imagine and pretend this energy force of grounding is going to just easily pass through several miles of the Earth's crust. Pluto light is like an LED light. It can be a small but mighty light, and it's infusing that light into the earth. So as you ground, sense that new level of lightness in the earth. as your grounding goes deeper and deeper and deeper to the Earth's core. Spirit is showing me kind of like a utopia at the center of the earth. It's like you've entered into this beautiful tropical environment of clear water pools, trees, colorful birds. Allow your grounding image to just weave throughout that beautiful, beautiful image at the magnetic core. As you feel that nourishing comfort and support from Mother Earth, allow yourself to release any tension in your body that may have come up, maybe any fear of the unknown. Maybe some complex mental energy where you might make things more difficult to understand than they need to be. Just keep dropping it right down your grounding. Now remember, the essence, the frequency of Pluto wants to help us move into states of healthy, holistic balance. Pluto really is your friend. It desires to destruct what is not healthy on the earth and reconstruct and rebirth a more beautiful way of living in the future. Remember, Capricorn loves to add a structure, a container for us to feel safe within, but the old one has been too tight, too restrictive. So we're going to add the frequency of Pluto. We're going to add the healthy frequencies of Capricorn. And then remember the frequency of Aquarius. If it's kind of unbridled, unleashed, maybe it's too free, always wants to dance, never wants to participate in making things better. It's like, let's just tune in now to the healthier aspects of Aquarius. You don't need to know what those are, but you're saying, okay, I'm going to create a large ball of this kind of bluish green energy. It's a dark blue, emerald green, cosmic celestial energy. You're going to add a dash of Pluto, a dash of healthy Aquarius, a dash of healthy Capricorn, and then slowly just invite it to flow through your entire energy field and ask for that frequency to easily, effortlessly dissolve whatever it is that you will not be carrying forward with you in the next months and years. Just allow that liquid frequency of light of Pluto, Capricorn, Aquarius to flow through and easily and effortlessly dissolve what you no longer need moving forward. Remind yourself of what today's date is. It's March 18th, 2023. I can go with the flow. I can let this go. I will allow myself to stop avoiding. I will allow myself to stop clinging to that no longer serves me. Remind yourself of how old you are. Now, for just a moment, we're going to play with our imagination. And we're going to pretend in our imagination that you can see or feel or hear or know that there are two large doors. They can be wooden doors, they can be bamboo doors, they can be doors of light, they can be metal doors, but they are huge, like 12 feet high. And at each side, you outstretch your arms, you can't even reach both sides. They're that gigantic. Pretend and imagine that you're on this side of the door, but now you're going to reach up and easily and effortlessly open up those two doorways to see into the lighted path of where you're going. Can you feel the difference in frequency of where you are, where you have been, and where you're going? And then just lightly step into, over that threshold, step into the other side of the doorway. And let's just take a full minute of quiet as you see if you can sense the frequency of where your life is heading. Before you step back, just take a moment to ask your higher wise self, illuminated by these healthy frequencies of Pluto, Aquarius, Capricorn, and the illuminating light of the future. Ask your higher self, what's the first thing? I'd like a message, please, or an impression. What's the first thing that I will be doing in my life to help me start designing my life moving forward? What's the first action step that I need to take to help me start designing my life moving forward? If you did not get a message, just ask your spirit to show you a sign in the next week, like a sign that would give you some direction in the next week. All right, you can go ahead and just kind of step back into this present moment, present timing, the date that you are standing in right now. And even if you're listening to the replay, whatever the date is of the replay, remind yourself of how old you are, remind yourself of what city you live in, come fully back into this present moment, start to open your eyes and move around. Move your body around. Those wonderful, awesome bodies that takes the hits, but keep on ticking. So in the comment section, if you got an action step, can you go ahead and post that in the comment section? What did your spirit guide you? Your first action step to designing your life as the creator and designer of your life moving forward. Shauna, allow. Hillary, focus on community building. Love that. Verna, burning lots of old files and files. Dorothy, why your age and sometimes memories can get triggered, Dorothy, at 3 years old and you're 63 years old. So yeah, you want to make sure and remind yourself of how old you are. Go to the Akashic Records, breathe, trust, let go, start stretching physically. Yeah. Start painting, have more awareness of your day-to-day moments, finish your book. Love it. Continue your healing. Love it. So we are right at the end of our session, but I am going to stay on about 10 minutes. If anyone has a question, you'll just click the down below under the reaction, click the raise your hand button, and that will put you at the top. Somebody else saying self-love, being out in nature. The action steps, to just let you know, no one can purchase the VIP anymore as of yesterday, but until the end of the day, if someone wants to join the Equinox tomorrow, you give them a call and say, this is a big time, you're going to want to be on that reading. There's still some time to get your ticket for that event tomorrow. Kathy told me that. And then April, just to let you know, Psychic Mastery 1, our full year kind of hybrid virtual program will open up for new students in April. So be on the lookout for that as well. So let me just kind of go to see if there's any questions. Thank you all again for those who need to hop off this call now, as our hour and a half is at its completion. If you'd like to stay on and listen to the questions and answers, you're welcome to do that, but I totally understand because we're running over just a bit. So, okay, Sarah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
So, I have a 4-year-old at home as well, and I'm just super curious about what you think is happening to the kiddos with this energy shift.
Yeah.
We were just, she started talking about angels yesterday, and so any insight would be really.
Well, I haven't done a deep dive into it, except to say that it was probably about 6 weeks ago that Spirit came through to let me know that the new ones coming in, especially like were born after COVID, that someone named them the Diamond Group, and I think that's a perfect way to describe them. Yeah, like this would be a little diamond, and it's like an LED light, like their aura is an LED light with little sparks of rainbow colors in them. But the youth that have been coming through even since 2007, they hit 2008 with this really harsh time that we were kind of living hard to move through time. And they are these like sparks of joy, these sparks of light to help us to remember. I even think about my little puppy, moving into an old house of 2 old women and an old 13-year-old dog. And we were like, what are we thinking? And just little Sadie has just brought so much lightness. And so that's what we have to remember in these changes. It's like, oh, I'm too old to change. This old dog can't learn new tricks. But there is so much joy on the other side of it. We have to keep remembering that. So, yeah.
So are they feeling the changes but they're just rolling with it?
Well, they don't feel them as strongly as we do. They've got much more resilience. So you have to understand, we always think about boundaries, that we need to make this fortress. Like I remember once a client came in and her aura looked like a artichoke. You know how an artichoke has those little hard shells? And I'm like, what is happening to your aura? And she's like, this is my protection. Well, the hard part was that the light couldn't come in and her light couldn't go through. She had so much protection. So in the way that I teach in my program, that your light is your protection. So the kids that are coming through have so much light that everything just kind of bounces off of them. Yeah. We could probably talk about it, for the next several days to really discern, but yes, you have a calling to be the mother of these bright ones, and all the children were before, some were being born but now this time all who are coming in are being born into this really resilient light.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Have you all been fed enough information to keep you well until tomorrow when we do the group reading together? So so enjoy. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So just a few more, as Teresa said, she was told to be out in nature more. Amy Vernig said, embracing where I am right now, eyes open, release what no longer serves, and move on. Get very quick. I love that, very quick. Yeah. All right, Cheryl, I will take you. Yeah.
I've noticed over the last month, when I'm meditating, my midsection is vibrating.
That would be the 3rd chakra.
Is that something new with this energy? This is new.
It is. It is. There is I did a meditation on the core star. It's under the blue light page. So I don't know if you're on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
No.
Okay, but you're on YouTube. So it's on YouTube. Right. So if you go under YouTube, under the Nancy Rebecca Live, And you look at the blue light talk. I can't remember the last date that it was, but it was expansive of the core star of the third chakra. I saw somebody else mention boundaries is a huge thing right now. It is, our spirit is helping us to really increase our boundaries. And but that particular meditation that I did, you can do that, and that helps expand that core star. And we did it as a blue light that was coming out of the middle. But our third chakras are getting stronger. Yvonne and I have a saying in our house. It's like, oh, sounds like it's time to build. We need to strengthen our third chakra. We need to build a third chakra. So that's definitely what's happening. You are not alone in that. So yeah,
Thank
you're in
you.
good company. Thank you. All right, anyone else? Don't be shy. I love that, Lori. Face my fears and move on. I have to tell you, that's the message I keep getting. Make a decision, move on. Make a decision, move on. Don't linger. Make a decision, move on. Very rapid pace. Yes. Okay. Well, we will go ahead and finish up this call. Just to let you know, there are still, you can still get in on the group reading that will be tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And you can let people know if they still want to register. Otherwise, I will see you all on the call tomorrow. Drink loads of water after today and let yourself journal, let yourself get out in the sun. And just when you sleep, just know it'll all get integrated at that time. So, all right, take care, everyone. Thanks so much for being on the call. You can unmute yourself and say
Good
goodbye.
night. Good, well,
Goodbye.
have a
Goodbye.
good day.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good
Thank
day.
you, Rebecca.
Good to see
Bye.
y'all.
Good to see you all. Great. Awesome.
Thanks so much.
You're
Thanks,
so
Nancy.
welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for showing up to shift with us.
Power of the group. Power
That's
of
That's
right.
right.
That's right. That's right. Okay.